You are showing the ways of following.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so literally I'm pretty sure you already have a brief of what's been going on here at Smooth. We literally chose you as the artist of the month for the month of May, and we've literally been playing your songs like back to back. Like I don't know if you've noticed the tweets as well, like back to back, and we've gotten really good responses from a lot of people on Twitter who are
Oh
absolutely just
yeah, I've been
loving it.
following all that, and I'm loving it.
Yes. So we're glad and we're happy to see that you love that as well. So we're gonna try to keep this as quick or do this as quick as possible because I do understand that you're actually quite busy and you're gonna be moving around real soon. So I'm just going to go right into.
I am in rehearsal actually. I'm in Prague, so I'm
Oh,
rehearsing
okay.
the 12th Symphony of Philip Glass with an orchestra. So
Oh wow.
a lot of
You
work.
know, it makes me wonder like how you even do you even get a break? Because often a lot of people feel like, because we don't really see Angelique, of course we know you're performing um outside COVID and all of the, circumstances we found ourselves in. Typically you'd be on stage in one place or another. But
That's
right now
it.
we're like, okay, like, is anything even really happening? So some people may even find it surprising that, it's really hard to get a hold of you because you're actually really so busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm doing. I mean, if I don't keep myself busy, I go crazy, and I become a headache for my husband and my family. So no one wanna sit around me when I'm like yapping at him. Like, I just gotta keep myself busy. The thing is, I've always been that type of artist that does a lot of things
Yes.
because I just like to challenge myself every day, and there's always something around the corner that is really interesting musically to do and to represent my continent in many different ways. So it's just like an ever-ending urge for me to be where most of the time people are not expecting us, but to prove that we can be.
That is really, 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 really fantastic. And considering how, we've seen you go from being just a singer to somebody who is very passionate about human rights. I mean, first time I saw the video, I got to see the video on to the song Dignity with Yemi Alade.
Mhm.
And for some reason, like listening to the song, of which the song is really nice, it's very catchy, it has a great tune to it, it's very, very, it's something that will catch the attention of the young ones. It has that really great Afrobeat vibe about it. But actually listening to the song, I could tell for sure that, okay, Angelique is actually really, quite passionate about this thing she's talking about. So we've seen you go from, just being a singer to holding such a very important place when it comes to human rights and speaking up for people as well. Tell us about that and how that journey has been for you. How easy has it been, functioning not just as an artist, but as somebody who really cares and is really, really passionate about, Africans and just, everyone in general?
Well, nothing is easy when you believe in our humanity and truth have no friends. That's what it is.
Mm,
And my entire career have been being a storyteller of our journey as human being on this planet, especially for African and Black people in general. Because when I started my career, I have to, from the beginning, have to stand for my visuals, for my music, and refusing to fit into anybody's phantasma or anybody preconception about what an African woman should look like and
mm-hmm.
be just defined by my sex. And it has been a long journey of struggle, and it's still a struggle. And you have to prove what you say have to be proven. I mean, talk is cheap, action is expensive. So through my work, I've been able to tell people, look, I'm not here to question your belief or what you think of me. I'm here to prove you there's only one humanity, and we ought to lead to with one another. There's no other way. There's no other planet. There's not another human like us anywhere in the world. So if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. And I don't want people to speak for us. I don't want people to speak on our behalf. And I always say to people that try to speak for me, I say, please let me do it myself. I might not be as eloquent as you, but please don't speak for me. And that's why I care about everything, because everything is related to human being. Every single thing you touch is a thread that link all of it. There's not one issue that is separate in a silo. Everything is really connected. And if you don't have that such a global view of the world, how can you impact anything at all?
True, true, very, very, very true. And not just that, but you also, mentioned and touched on, the issue of police brutality, which is something that, for most people here in Nigeria, it's kind of still fresh because this happened just 2020, just last year, and it is something a lot of people. It was a period a lot of people struggled with, and even though all of that happened, the protests, we still see here and there news and stories of people who share some of their horrible experiences as well. And it was nice to also see you come out to say, because sometimes when you live in a particular place, or when you've been in a particular place and you haven't really got the chance to move around the world, you may think that certain things are happening to just you alone, or, it's not happening anywhere else. But, with your song, you were able to, voice out and say, look, it's not just happening in Nigeria, it's happening in other places as well. As we
Mm.
also could see, with the people in the US as well. So what more do you think needs to be done, so more people can get to talk about this and more actions can be taken, probably even in a way or manner that would be much more swift?
I think that my take on all those is that if we treat one another with respect and dignity, we'll be able to sit around the table and discuss. You don't have to be a president of a country to give dignity to your people and your police. And I think the event that happened in Nigeria, and why I mean, I wrote this song Dignity already, talking about dignity in front of poverty. It's not because you're poor that people have to disrespect your being. And I think that there is a conversation to have everywhere where there is a police brutality, and for us to define what it means to be a policeman and what the police stand for. The police stand for security of the people. They are the one that come to your rescue, not the one to beat you down. So how come that has been off the table of discussion? That's what we have to bring about for us to keep our dignity and to dignify our own police too. And that until we have that conversation, for us to understand exactly what we stand for, both of us, to be able to live in a society where we function together, it's gonna be impossible to stop police brutality. We just have to have the conversation. It has to happen.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. Definitely has to happen because, I mean, when you really think about it, the people who are in the police force are just human beings like you and I. So what happens between where the point where they go from being civilians to joining the police force, and what's really going on in that institution, what's really happening in there. So a lot of discussions need to be had. I totally agree with you on that. But on a lighter note, and still talking about treating each other with respect, we see that you show a lot of love, not just to Africans in general, but we see that you show a lot of love to the upcoming people, the upcoming artists as well. We've seen you show a lot of love. We know. I kind of feel like Yemi Alade has almost become like your goddaughter or something.
Yes, she is. Yes,
you
she's
know,
absolutely is.
so many great African artists that we've seen you collaborate with, we've seen you talk about, we've seen you, put the try to shine the spotlight on. I mean, the last Grammy you won, you dedicated it to Burna Boy. I mean, a lot of us did not see that coming. A lot of people just win the awards and they're gone, they're off the stage. But you also dedicated your awards to Burna Boy, and we see you because you've been in the industry for over 30, 40 years now, and for someone like you to embrace the younger ones as much as you do, tell us about that. What is it about you and this love that you have for the younger generation coming up?
Well, I think when I started my career, I didn't have internet, and I mean, it's a long story. We can spend days talking about the length of my career and the struggle I've been through and the hurdle and humiliation and all the things that goes beyond, because you're a woman and you're black, you're African and you're black
Mm,
is
mm,
double punishment straight there
mm,
before you add anything else to it. But I am not the type of person that respond in violence to anything. My mom always used to say to me, people that throw stone at you, kill them with tenderness, kindness. It's a bulletproof vest. It's true. And the thing is, I always try to understand why somebody would come and really speak bad to me or wanted to treat me bad. So my encounters with people is never into friction.
Okay.
And I don't want to do that because there's no conversation, constructive conversation you can have when you start fighting with somebody. I mean, fight when you start fighting, it's just that you don't listen to each other, you start shooting at each other. And the thing that I said, and I've been saying this since I've been nominated for the Grammys. I've been nominated as my first nomination at the Grammy was in 2003, I think. And it's been since every 2 years like that. And I always tell people every time I go to Grammy, when we are at the cocktail surrounded by everybody that is in this business, I always tell them, be mindful of the music you playing. All of it come from Africa. Some of them recognize it because they know they say it is true.
Yes.
And I've always been that voice and that person there to remind everybody that you can't count us out. Even if you think you can do it, you cannot. You just don't have the choice of it. And I've been lucky enough to have met Miriam Makeba and have having some profound and deep conversation about her struggle to put her country during apartheid on the map, standing in front of the UN in the early 60s, asking the whole world to boycott South Africa. When you're an artist of that magnitude and your people are suffering, you have to find ways to make their voice heard, the one that can be where you are. And I think talking to people all the time at the Grammy, step by step, they start realizing what I'm talking about. And in 2017, when I received my Grammy for my album Sings, I said, Africa is on the rise. Africa is unstoppable. And the music that is coming from that continent, from this young generation, gonna take you by storm. And I mean it because
Yes.
I've always said talent have no gender. And we have so much talent in Africa, it gives you, I mean, you go dizzy. But yet
Mm,
the world don't see it. So if I'm in a position where I can shed a light on that diversity, I mean, this is just the beginning. You know how many Nigerian artists are out there that I haven't even talked to, and globally in Africa, Sampa the Great from Zambia. I mean, the whole continent is just endless. For me to be able where I am to give a platform for people to see it differently, to see us in the light of doing business with us is profitable for everybody. That
true.
our music gonna count from now on, you like it or not.
Wow, that is amazing. And looking at, from the time you've, embarked on this and, taking it upon yourself, 2003, that was a long time ago. That was so many years. And look how far it has come. And, going down to 2017, what is about the time we would say that, we really got started to see a lot of international artists, begin to not just embrace, but they were publicly and they were very proud to be able to dance to these songs or sing along. Or we got to see all of these things on social media. So it was really, really great to see you win first, and of course, use your hand to try to uplift the other person who was in the same category with you, and also see him win as well, which
That's
was
what it meant to do. That's what I wanted to people
absolutely
to just get and
fantastic.
I just want to put it up there for people to understand. This is just the beginning. I mean, one of the great ambassador of Nigerian music that I met first was Ashe. Asha.
Sha, yes.
I met Asha in Zimbabwe,
Oh, okay.
early 2000. And somebody coming to me and said, there's this young Nigerian girl here. Can she play with you? I said, why are you asking me? She can come anytime. So she came with her guitar and I said, let us do Malaika. That song is known everywhere. So she took her guitar and then I said, just sing it in Yoruba. Just sing a love song in Yoruba. And I was singing in Swahili. And that's how I met Asha. And I mean, anytime I have an opportunity to put any artist on the same level as me in any huge institution, I always do. So we did a show in 2016 in the Montreux Jazz Festival, and I had a carte blanche to do whatever I want. And I said I want to show couple of young women artists in their own right, leaders in the field. So we did that show. Its film is somewhere there. And I was asked in last year, 2020, to do a show at Carnegie Hall to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the 17 countries that became independent in the 60s and my own birthday.
Yes, I
And I
remember
say,
that.
how can I do this? First of all, I have to go back and find somebody that I've known all that period when I was born that I couldn't speak about, which was Manu Dibango. So we prepared the
Mm,
show. We sat down, we rehearsed it, and we start singing the song, the anthem song of the independence called Independence Cha-Cha that was written by Kabasile. So we built the show, and I said, now I need young women around me and young men. So the second male African that I invited was Baba Mao from Senegal, Yemi
yeah.
Alade from Nigeria, and another African American star called Brittany Howard from the Alabama Shakes. Because in the 60s, as we were struggling for our independence, the African American was doing the civil rights movement. So I wanted to tell those two stories. Every time I have the opportunity to tell our story and to weave a tapestry to see the diversity of the struggle we go through,
Yeah.
it's all connected. We all want to be free and be counted for, and we are not less than any other human being on this planet. And that's how you bring about all those different issues, and you make a point that is not violent, that is not against anyone, because music is a universal language. We have, we owe ourselves to tell our story and to transform our country and continent and everywhere we are. No one will do it for us. I've been around for so long, and it was a reminder for me once I was at the Columbia University attending a lecture, and we were talking about Africa, economy, all those resources in Africa that are not helping us getting out of poverty. And a professor at Columbia said to me, well, it's not up to us to tell your story. You have to stand up for yourself. And I said, well, yes, we know that. So you have to give us the room. We are willing. We are ready. But is your media ready to hear what we have to say? So that's the question. We have to build the platform on which worldwide people hear us and see us and hear our brain and our soul.
You know what? Sometimes when I think about it, I feel like you probably don't get as much accolades as you should, considering how you try to tell all of these stories and try to, put it out there. Because as you mentioned, sometimes a lot of people don't even know or realize that while the civil rights movements were going on in the US and America and all of
Oh,
that, we also had ours to fight here back at home, our own freedom to fight for, and all of that. So all of that was happening at the same time, and we definitely need to find more ways, and of course to pass down the history to the younger ones so they can continue to push for this as well. So here I am on behalf of everybody who's not giving you all the accolades, saying yes, we're giving you your flowers right now. Definitely
no,
giving you your
I
flowers.
have to do it because we have never been able to tell our story because the system that had been put in place after the independence was to cut the tie between all of us. So all those big media conglomerate that we give us the news are from, you have AP and you have another, those are Westerner. So where is our biggest network of news that cover our continent that counts? That's something we have to think about. I mean, we can't, I know it's not easy. I'm saying this is not easy. There's so much poverty we have to tackle in Africa for people to be able to put 3 meals a day on the table, for the kids to go to school, for our young girls to be safe. I'm working on that end too, because to reduce poverty, we need to empower young girls. We need to empower women. We need bank for women that we loan. We need women, the entrepreneur that have made it, that have money to have a bank somewhere where women can also become entrepreneur, because economically it will profit all of us in Africa. And all
Very
the
true.
things, because from example, traveling around, seeing what is going on, that There are endless possibilities that we have to tackle in it. But in order for us to do this, it's absolutely key and important for us not to shoot at one another. We have to be unified. We might have different opinion, we might have different struggle, but one thing we have to have in common is the survival and how we prevail. That have to be the bond, the cement on which we build our home and deal with different talent to get us there. Not fighting one another, not being jealous of one another. We lack that. Every community around us. Look how far China has come. How can we do that? How can we do that? That's always because we have the talent, we have the brain, we have everything. So for me, it's all about using your platform and the power, the little power that you have to empower the little ones, to get them from the ground. We need to be proud of ourselves. No one will stand for us. No one will see our beauty if we can't say it.
You know what? Thank you for all the work that you do and for always putting us out there every opportunity that you get. But now let's move on to your next album. You do have something coming out real soon, I believe sometime June, which is just next
18, June
month.
18.
Yes, so let's talk about that. What's to expect, because you always come up with something new, or there's a different vibe. When you came out with the album Celia, we did not see that coming. You dedicated a whole album to Celia Cruz. So what's to come in June? What do we expect?
What do we expect is the love letter that we all have written to Mother Earth. I mean, climate change gonna hit us in Africa like a bullet, and we need to start talking about it, start finding solutions that will meet our needs. We need that. We need to work with every sector that's out there. Agriculture, we need to feed ourselves. Look at this COVID-19, we're still waiting for the vaccine to come out. Why can't we have in West Africa our own institute of research to do vaccine, to research on malaria and so on and so forth? So this album is about how we come together to preserve this nation. And into that, dignity is at the center of it. If we
Yeah.
don't dignify Mother Earth, how can we dignify ourselves? If we don't love Africa, how can we love ourselves? And if we don't do what we have to do for ourselves, with the song that I did with Burna Boy is the one that come with that, and I completely embrace that. Do yourself is the song that I did with Burna Boy, because we can sit and let it fall apart. If it fall apart, we are the first one that paid for it. And also, I have a young singer-songwriter from Zimbabwe, Shungudzo, that is a poetess. I mean, she's just amazing. And I start the album with some the song that she wrote. And when we start talking about Mother Earth, we start, what do we talk about? Our grandmothers in villages, when we go on holidays, how they nurture us, how they teach us how precious nature is, and the lessons we learn from the humility of our grandparents, how they reach out to one another to help one another. We need that to come back to the table of discussion about Mother Earth and about how we treat one another. And I also reach out to Sampa the Great from Zambia, because I saw her tiny desk at NPR and I'm like, I want this girl. She is a fire. So I sent her a message. She goes, "What, is really you?" I said, "Yes, it's me. Let's do this." So I invited her in a song called "Take It or Leave It," and no, and free and equal, because I wrote a song based on the first article of the Declaration of Human Rights. So it said everyone is born equal in right and dignity. So I
Yes.
said, if that's the case, let's start acting upon that. And of course, I invited an artist from France called M. When I told him about the struggle of Mother Earth and all that's gonna go on, he asked me, "Do you know that mushroom called mycelium?" I said, "What is that?" And then he explained to me, and I did do researches. That mushroom is what is in every forest around the world and has no central control. But they heal. If a tree is lacking water, they work together and come together to help they are the one that keep us alive. And of course, I received a message from Mr. Easy on DM say, "Mom, I have a song for you." I said, "Come on, send it." And then we did the song Africa One of a Kind, because we both believe that our continent is one of a kind.
Oh yeah, Mr.
And
Easy is definitely on that train.
I mean, that's it. The beauty of, I mean, Africa's blood is running in our vein. And all of us, there's not one human being on this planet that have no DNA from Africa. So for me, that album is, after all this cover album that I've done, especially when I was doing Celia's cover, what struck me with Celia was that she never shied away from her African roots. She went
Mm.
through racism. People call her coffee with milk all the time, her entire life. And her reply to the racist was sugar. So you need coffee and
Mm.
milk, you need sugar. And guess what? Because you need sugar, slavery started. My ancestor come and brought sugar to you. So you can call
Mm.
me any
Sugar
kind of
cane.
name. You still need me. I'm
Mm.
still at the center of it. That's what Africa is. Africa is the sugar, the salt of everyone on this planet. And we got to be proud of it.
Oh wow, we can't wait to, get to dig into everything, you've put together in this new album coming in June. And thank God June is just around the corner. So hey, we don't have to wait too long.
Within 2 weeks, you can listen.
Exactly.
The first song is called If We Choose Love.
Oh
Choose love.
wow. Yeah. That is amazing. There's a whole lot to learn from you as well. But I know you were quite tight with time. So I'm just going to go on to the next thing. Now, you spent so long in this, industry. Like I mentioned earlier, going into 40 years now. At what point did you have your this is it moment? At what point did it hit you like, okay, I've, really achieved something. I've gotten to a certain level of success. At what point or what moment did you have that?
It's every time I do an album, it's just like this. Because doing
Mm,
an album for me is not just a collection of songs. I mean, we come from a tradition of storytelling.
yes.
Our history is oral. We have art piece to be a milestone of our lives, of our kings. As a storyteller, I live in my time.
Hmm.
Every time I travel, I try, even it's a place, I mean, in Prague, I'm in Czech Republic now. I want to learn how to say good morning, thank you, goodbye, all of those. The thing is, every album for me is a manifest of our humanity. And I'm always saying, this is it. Because if I manage through my music to transform every time my album is out, to make people change something about their life. If there's 10 people after every album, I think I've done quite a while. So for me,
Mm,
that's where success is. It's not about money you make, it's about how you impact people to transform themselves and then lend a hand to somebody else. And then you create a chain of change. That's the
very
greatest
true.
thing that anyone can do, because that with that chain of change that you're creating wealth for somebody. We're creating health. I mean, you're creating so much that is beyond my power. So I'm very humble with everything I've been able to achieve. It has been a hard work. It's still a hard work all the way till now. Nothing is easy, and I accept that, because if it was easy, I won't do it.
Mm. You know what? This takes me to my final question for today. And I know that, you spent so many great years on earth. I mean, you just turned 60 last year. It's amazing to see that we still have a great living legend who we can actually look up to, who we've always looked up to so many generations. My parents listen to your music. I listen to your music. Hopefully, my children will listen to your music as
I
well.
hope so.
But can you share with us a life lesson, something you've learned through life? It could be in your career, it could be personally, something you've learned through life.
What I learned through life is to be grateful. To be grateful that people that help you on the way. And the first time I heard somebody talk about it was Peter Gabriel on TV saying, you never achieve success alone, never. In any way, anything you do, there have been people on the way that help you through. And when you're climbing that ladder to go up, never forget and never spit on people that help you. Because today you start coming down, they're all gonna set aside and let you crumble. And
Mm,
it's something that we have to keep in mind. Stay humble is gives you more strength to do your work. Music demand from us so much. I mean, I always say music is a possessive mistress. You have no time for anything else, but you gotta do it with your guts, with your heart, and the truth of it. And if you are there, everything you do, you happy with it. So what I say to everybody is like, first of all, be proud of yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, stand tall in this world, and have your say, because your opinion matter as much as anybody's opinion, as long as you express it in respect of other.
Thank you so much for that one. That was absolutely beautiful. It was great talking to you today. And it's been awesome listening to your music all through the month of May as well on
I
this
can't wait
show.
till you tell me what you think about when you think of the album when it comes out, and you pick your best one and you send me an email and tell me how which one and just tell me why.
Definitely. We will. We will. And we
Oh,
know, we already know you're going to bring it because we can't wait for COVID to be over so we
oh
can
man,
see you on stage
oh
and where you're
man.
fiery and all of
I
that.
mean, girls, don't be tired. Don't get me there. I'm like already in the starting blocks. I'm gonna go.
Thank you so, so, so
And
much. It's
thanks
been
for the support, Smooth. I mean, FM. You guys have been absolutely a great partner, and that's what I want the world to see too. Not only the artists, but to see also the radio on the continent, the medias on the continent that are supportive of all of us, because we have to do that. We owe ourselves to do that.
thank you so much. Thank you. We send you so much love as well. Thank
I
you.
do. Mwah.
Enjoy your day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.